Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Hello, bonjour mes amis, comment ça va? Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Welcome one, welcome all. Streamlabs, could you see me later please? I was really perplexed to see you at members only yesterday. Sort of freaked me out. Do you guys like my new glasses? Also, my sourdough starter is not doing as good as I would like. I really was looking for more of a bubbly, effervescent personality, and thus far, she's lacking, and I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe I named her too soon. Maybe I should have let her develop a little before giving her add some beer. Is that actually advice? I bet that is good advice. Maybe I fucking will, Adam. Go down and buy a single beer. Oh! Oh no, there isn't. I was like, oh, there might be beer in my fridge. No, there's not. There's not. Anyways, we're gonna watch. Yes, glasses. That's right. Do you like them, Mikey? I need them for concentration. They keep me concentrating on those long days when there ain't no rest for the wicked. Cellulite Yoga Pants is probably busy with her family. Anyways, I have not watched a single moment of this hearing. I trusted a little tidbit that I was told, and that's how I made the title. So, coffee, our legal drug, yes. I'm drinking our other legal drug, Rockstar Strawberry Lime Zero Sugar. Had to check, it is zero sugar. Thank God. Travel by Flu Powder. Fix the green screen, Paisley, once you get the show going. Here we go. I have to play it here. I couldn't download it.
Okay, we're on the record and call
Finally, Judge.
2401935. Councils, will you please announce for the record?
Brent Debnam, State Bar number 241-00481 on behalf of the petitioner, Jonathan Streeter. I've also, next to me, got Jackie Avila, State Bar number 241-48079. Also, on behalf of the petitioner, Jonathan Streeter, we're present and ready, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sheba George, attorney for respondent, Your Honor, State Bar number 241-28830. Present and ready to proceed.
Thank you. With those who intend to testify, would you please take yourselves off of mute and raise your right hands?
I was going nuts. Why was it so
Do you all
quiet?
swear
Sorry,
or
I
affirm
fixed
that the
it.
testimony you'll give will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. You all may lower your. Does anyone wish to invoke the rule at this time?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to invoke the rule.
Okay, so the
I would too.
Streeters will remain. Let's see, who am I looking for? Is it Sterling?
Joan Streeter's mom.
Okay,
And,
and go ahead.
and let me go to our witness list real quick. Oh, right here.
I might change my outfit.
Then Emily Ash, is she still in here?
Emily.
Yeah, I went through a
depending on
name
which one
change.
it is,
It's legally
depends on
Cass
if
Sterling
she's
now.
welcome.
Okay, I apologize. Cass Sterling is also a witness of ours, Judge.
Okay. All right. So Joan Streeter and Cass Sterling, I'm going to place you all in the waiting room until the attorneys will need to call you in as a witness. Then I'll pull you in, assuming they even get to you, okay?
Yes,
Understood.
ma'am.
She is so strict with time. It's almost sublime. What kind of headphones does Jonathan
All right.
have?
And prior to going on the record, we discussed the stipulation of some pre-admitted exhibits. Petitioners exhibits 1 through 3 are admitted, and respondents exhibits 1 through 23 are admitted as well. According to the pretrial order that you all, when you all came to court back in February, there is one issue that is before the court, a very narrow issue, a potential waste claim. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and distributing the remaining marital property, essentially.
Okay.
Judge, I agree. That's correct. I don't think there is any remaining marital property, but so yeah, the waste claim is the only thing that I think is before the court.
Okay. So I have you all, according to your pretrial order, is 30 minutes total. You all are set at 15 minutes aside. That will include any open and closing statements, should you all choose to make one, as well as any examination that you all will do. Attorney Debnam, at this time, would you like to make an opening statement?
Yes, Judge, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Judge, to be frank with you, I don't know why we're here today. This case is a waste of the court's time. It's certainly a waste of the taxpayer dollar, and it's a waste of the parties' money when it comes to attorney's fees. To be frank, today there will only be 2 winners. One is my office, and the second is Miss George's, who will be paid and are being paid our attorney's fees. The fact of the matter is there is nothing remaining in this community state, nor has there been for a great deal of time. In my 8 years of practicing family law, I'm not sure if I've ever seen such a shocking legal strategy advanced by opposing counsel that just emphatically wastes the funds of these parties. There's nothing left in these community property. The community property in this case was a house.
Where is MB? My dearest friend, MB, where are you, baby? If you're driving, don't answer for legal reasons. But this is wild accusations that he's making in his opening statement against his opposing sister counsel, if you will. They're all brothers and sisters, don't you know? When you're a lawyer.
They sold the house and distributed the funds to each other. And that's all that's left. So I'm not sure why we're here today. There are some unique facts in this relationship that I think it's important the court understands as it listens to what's in front of the court today. Primarily, the unique fact is this couple chose to be a polyamorous couple. They engaged in polyamorous relationships that were consensual. They're clear in the messages that have already been admitted to the court. They discussed them in great length and great volume. They were very informed. They talked about them greatly throughout the entirety of the preparation of this case. Opposing counsel has continued to refer to it as paramour, as an illicit affair.
No, John, to be clear, polyamorous couples are not necessarily swingers. That actually is something totally different. So, not necessarily swingers. You can be polyamorous and be very vanilla in some senses and not interested in group sex or swapping or anything like that. It just means that there's more than two people that are in love. I saw a really good like throuple one time where they actually all were in love, and it seemed like they actually all loved each other equally, which is usually not the case. But they could also be swingers, like, just to be clear. But it just doesn't mean that they are. Swinging is a sex thing. Polyamory is like a relationship choice. So, they can be independent.
And it's plain in the text messages, Judge, that this was fully known, fully talked about. When it comes to waste, you're going to see that the witness, who was one of the members involved in the polyamorous relationship, received funds that were reimbursements from our client. They will talk about how this is fraud and how these funds were a waste of the marital estate and how this was some illicit affair. But Judge, what I think is important for you to point out, for you to see, is that this fraud is something that's done without knowledge, that's hidden, that's done in secret. This party lived with them. She lived in the marital home with both parties, and as the messages showed, they both asked her to buy things and do things and pay for things, and that's a normal course of conduct. That is not fraud. I think it's also important to notice that you will see no expert witnesses proving fraud. You will see no evidence of fraud, and I think it's also important to know that opposing party has objected to the third party credit card records of the very person they're saying the money went to waste. So you would think that they would need to prove up their waste claim to see where those funds went and what they were used for, but they've objected for the court seeing that evidence. We ask at the end of the day that the court call this case what it is. There's a separate property card that we ask the court be ordered back to Mr. Streeter. We ask that both parties be assigned their attorney's fees, which are already outrageous considering that neither party has money. And I don't know how their party's paying, but our party is paying with loans. And call this case a day. They were married in 2016, separated in 2023. The house was sold in 2023. There is nothing left to fight about.
Thank you, counsel. Attorney George, would you like to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor, briefly, if I may.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, this is not simply a matter of fighting over the relationship status of the parties, and to write this off as an emotional response from my client to petitioner's relationship with Ms. Cass Sterling would ignore the financial inequities that we're dealing with here. This entire case has been a bullying technique against my client from the start. Petitioner moved out of their home on their wedding anniversary. He closed out joint accounts and took her off of insurance as soon as she was able to retain an attorney in this case. He kept the remaining joint funds and closed out accounts. He's kept the remaining proceeds from the sale of their marital home and has transferred a total of over $90,000 to his girlfriend since 2022. The entire case has been an attempt to silence, control, and bully my client into backing down, which she has simply had enough of.
There she is, MB. Do we not have a bully command? We must have one. I'm bullying thee into making one, CYP. Also, the lawyer, MB, I'm not sure if you heard at the beginning, but the Brent lawyer basically said both these lawyers are gouging these people for money, left, right, and center.
That is the true focus of why we're here today, and to write this off as just simply leaving with no property or not separating what has actually been done in terms of the finances from 2022 to date would be ignoring the wrongdoings of opposing party and leaving my client without a proper share of the marital estate.
Thank you, counsel. All right, Attorney Debnam, you may call your first witness.
Petitioner calls petitioner, Jonathan Streeter.
Okay.
Mr. Streeter, I'm going to go quickly because we've got limited time. When did you and Miss Streeter marry?
On October the 13th, 2017, I believe.
And when did you separate?
Um, October of 2023.
And during the marriage, what community assets did you acquire?
We acquired a house, we acquired some art, and we acquired debt.
And you mentioned the house. Was that sold during the marriage or after separation?
That was sold after separation.
And how much equity was there in the home at the time of the sale?
I don't know that answer. We ended up with 40 or 60,000 after the sale of the home.
And what did you all do with those funds?
Well, we had amassed quite a bit of credit card debt at that time. And so the first thing we did was we paid off the credit cards so that we would zero out the accounts. And then, as you can see in the bank records, I then took the half of the remaining amount and immediately sent it to her account, where it then moved to other accounts that I had no visibility in.
Okay, so just to be clear, what you did with the equity, to summarize for the court, is you paid off the party's credit card debt and then split the remaining in half, correct?
Correct, down to the penny.
Down to the penny. Okay, other than the house, you mentioned there were some art assets.
None that I care about.
Gotcha. So what happened to those?
Those went to, as much as we could, most of it went to Ash Streeter.
Okay. And did you have any separate property assets during the marriage?
We did. So the Ford Fit, or I mean the Fit, was acquired by myself before the marriage. There was also
Whose
other
Fit
art
before the
pieces and various little tools and things that were before the marriage.
Okay. And what vehicle? So that vehicle was acquired before the marriage. And what about the other vehicle?
The Ford Focus was a gift from my mother to me upon the
Thanks, Mommy.
sale of the previous vehicle that she had during the Dieselgate scandal, and so it was paid in cash.
Okay. And
The
who has that
Volkswagen
vehicle now?
Dieselgate thing?
I have currently the Ford Focus.
Okay. And what about the other vehicle?
I assume that she has it. I have not seen it
Okay.
in a very long time.
And you're asking the court to return your separate property vehicle that you haven't seen in a long time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let's talk about your relationship structure. During your marriage, were you and Miss Streeter in a monogamous relationship?
No, we were in a polyamorous relationship.
And was the non-monogamous structure openly discussed and agreed to by all parties?
Yes, multiple partners, even before Cass Sterling.
Okay. I'm sorry, I've got to adjust here. I've got Cass Sterling's previous name. Was Cass Sterling one of the people involved in the polyamorous relationships?
Yes, sir.
And Miss Streeter is now alleging that you defrauded the marital estates by making transfers to Cass
She's here to
Sterling. Is that
testify.
correct?
That is what she is alleging.
Okay. Why did you transfer funds to Cass Sterling?
Well, part of the funds was she was actually cleaning the house, and we had an agreement on how much pay that.
Yeah, cellulite yoga pants. Apparently, it is 2 years to the day since this channel, baby, was monetized. So thank you guys all for the support. Thank you so much. That's wild. I saw you say something about that this morning, and I was like, I'm so glad I have people around me that pay attention to these things more than I do. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, so he's saying she knew we were in a relationship with her. We paid her to clean the house. What else did you pay her to do? Yeah, it's a hard system to work. It is a hard system to work. He don't look up to the task, and she looks pissed off. That's a bad sign. That's not what you want to see. You understand? You understand? Speaking from experience.
We've also asked her on multiple occasions to go get groceries for us to be able to be done. And she did various things around the house that we also paid for.
And did you ask Ash to keep your finances? Did Miss Streeter and Cass Sterling keep your finances separate from one another?
Yes, Cass Sterling had her own credit cards and banks and stuff that I was not privy to.
Okay. And did you keep a separate bank account and Miss Streeter keep her own bank account?
My understanding at that time was that she had visibility onto my account. And she was, I got and then she had her own credit card that I had no visibility into. We had a shared Sparkle LLC account. And then Ash had multiple other accounts that I had no visibility into.
So did Cass Sterling sometimes pay expenses on your behalf, like rent, mortgage, or other purchases?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
And
One was named Cash and one was named Ash. That is asking for trouble. You need very opposite names, and you're gonna need to figure out how to remember who you're talking to. Oh, fuck. I can't remember what the other girl looked like. Is anybody hot? Is anybody hot?
Why did Cass Sterling do that?
She was asked to either by me or Ash during the time that we were actually together.
And
then
in
after-
those messages, there's lots of discussions about you all asking Cass Sterling to buy things, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Miss Streeter was completely aware of all of these arrangements, wasn't she?
Very aware.
Okay. Did the three of you discuss these expenditures in the messages that have already been admitted to the court?
Yes.
Okay. Did you attempt to admit Cass Sterling's credit card statements to show the charges that she fronted?
Yes.
And it's your understanding that opposing counsel and opposing party objected to the admission of those statements, correct?
Yes.
Okay. During the relationship, where did Cass Sterling live?
She actually moved in pretty quickly into one of the bedrooms in the house.
Okay. And so you're asking the court to keep
Separate
each party
bedrooms.
whatever's in their possession as reflected in our proposed relief, correct?
Correct.
Do you personally own any assets today other than the cars you mentioned?
Nominal things
My
like
headphones.
pots, pans, stuff like that,
Pots and
clothing,
pans.
like various other little items, but nothing that's
How
How
much
many
debt do you
gallons of
currently
milk?
have?
20, 30, 32,000
And a
with
lot of that is legal fees?
most of that is legal fee. 10,000 of it is the IRS due to having to wait for trying to get our tax situation situated in the request and waiting for the opposing party to respond to it and then having to file.
So opposing counsel's position that you've taken a $90,000 windfall is nonsense.
Correct.
Okay, we pass the witness, Judge.
Thank you. 1 second. Mr. Streeter, what was the amount of debt that you said you currently owe?
I believe it's somewhere around 32,000, but my numbers may be off for this. I have personal loans from my mom, from my brother, and other loans that I've taken out from other places to be able to pay for both the taxes and the ever increasing attorney fees.
All right, what is the tax bill as of today that you remember?
10,000 something dollar. I'm afraid I don't know down to the penny, but it's $10,000.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Attorney George Cross.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Streeter, have you provided any documentation of these loans that you have allegedly taken out?
Yes,
Documentations for a loan from your mother in Discovery?
I supplied quite a bit of evidence and a lot of documentation at that point. The most recent one that was taken out due to
Objection,
the discovery.
non-responsive. It's a yes or no question. Have you provided these documents in Discovery?
That's not
Yes,
what the question was. It was just asked if it was provided, not in discovery, Judge.
And I
Okay.
clarified.
Let me read it back. The question was, Mr. Streeter, have you provided any documentation of these loans that you have allegedly taken out? Response, yes. Question, documentations for a loan from your mother in Discovery. Response, I supplied quite a bit of evidence and allowed documentation at that point. Then the objection was made to non-responsive. The court sustained that objection. Question, have you provided these documents in Discovery? Response, yes. So, counsel, you can ask your next question.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. In terms of the additional personal loans that you've taken out, have you provided any documentation to us through Discovery on those? For these attorney's fees?
for the attorney's fees, that would be the lawyers. I did not personally.
Okay. You indicated to my client that you would become vindictive if lawyers got involved in this suit. Isn't that correct?
Incorrect.
Okay. Exhibit 6 that has been previously admitted to the court states a Discord or a text message between the two of you on November 10th. And in this message, you state, if and when I have to get lawyers, I will ask them to be vindictive about it. I was nice for too long. I am either going to finish this in a week or strive to recover all lost funds in full. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
And in your response to requests for admissions, you had denied that you had made this threat. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
When my client hired an attorney, did you close out the joint Chase account between you and Ashley?
I was following directions of my attorneys on what to do with the finances. I do not know the timing of when the attorneys were hired.
And where did these remaining funds go?
There was approximately $2,000 from a recent paycheck that I acquired. And so I moved that immediately to another bank account for the same one. And then the $41 also was moved to my remaining account because the bank required all of the accounts to be zeroed out before they could be closed.
And you removed her from insurance when she retained an attorney as well, correct?
I followed the instructions from my lawyer at the
Objection,
time.
non-responsive.
Sustained. Sir, the question was, and you removed her from insurance when she retained an attorney as well. Is that correct?
I did not know that she had attained an attorney or not by the time that I had removed her from the insurance.
Okay,
want
and
tacos
so our
so
office
bad.
provided you with a letter regarding the standing orders in this county, correct?
Correct.
And after this letter, did you transfer the funds back, being aware of the standing orders in place?
I asked my lawyer what to do and then followed the advice that I was given.
Objection, non-responsive.
Sustained.
After the letter, did you transfer the funds back to any account
No,
that she had access to?
no.
Okay. Let's discuss the house proceeds. What was the original agreement between you and Miss Streeter regarding how these proceeds were going to be split?
we were going to pay off all of the credit cards, and then we were going to split the proceeds down the middle 50-50.
Isn't it correct that the credit card debt would be paid as well as Miss Streeter's student loans?
I made the offer to pay the student loans off, and then she turned down the initial time to be able to pay them off.
Objection, non-responsive. Isn't it correct that the original agreement was for the student loans to also be paid from house proceeds?
Yes, that was the original agreement.
Okay. And you had outstanding loans on your cars, correct?
No,
The Honda Fit did not have any outstanding loans?
no,
Okay. In your request for admissions, you admitted to transferring over 50,000 to Emily Ash, is that correct?
yes,
And in your chase statements provided to the court as Exhibit 14 and provided in discovery, there is an additional 45,000 in transfers over the past year. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay, and so is it your testimony today that those transfers were to pay Miss Ash to clean your house or various other things around the house?
at the very beginning, yes, that's what that was.
Isn't it true that the transfers to Miss Ash, when that my client was aware of, were really to address groceries since she was your roommate?
Part of the funds went to groceries.
45K
Okay.
in groceries?
What is your income per year?
Currently, right now, or
Yes.
before, right now is $200,000.
Okay, and yet you're claiming to have no
Oh, and it's all so clear. Ugh. It's true. $200,000 can get you two ugly bitches. But you married the wrong one.
savings account, no retirement accounts. Is that correct?
Correct.
Where are your funds being transferred to?
We had quite a bit of debt from moving. We had car troubles. We had quite a bit of expensive dental procedures to handle issues with that. We had computer troubles that I've had to have repair for, car troubles that I had to pay for.
And well, the reality is it's not sitting in your account because it's transferred out to your girlfriend. Isn't that correct?
Part of the funds are, but there's also rent and other
Objection.
groceries.
Objection, non-responsive.
Sustain.
So the funds are not sitting in any of your accounts because they've been transferred out to your girlfriend. Is that correct?
I don't know how to answer this question.
They have a legal fee kink, Courtney, so they actually are both edging right now. That's why they've continued this. They are literally edging themselves this whole situation because they have a legal fee kink. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
Abroad.
It's a yes or no
Judge,
question.
I don't understand how to answer this question. She asked if all the funds are transferred out. He said part of the funds are. That answers the question. Otherwise he's going to have to lie to answer the question.
Okay, so let me read the question back. So the funds are not sitting in any of your accounts because they have been transferred out to your girlfriend. Counsel, would you rephrase that question?
Yes, Your Honor. Is a majority of your income transferred out to your girlfriend each month?
Yes, or to pay off the credit card that we have.
Oh wait, is she still the girlfriend? And she's the ex-wife. Oh, oh, sir. Oh, sir. Yeah. Yeah, bro. It doesn't unravel well. Let's put it that way. You might be able to ball it up tight. You know, when you twist a ball of yarn up like so tight, and at the beginning it's sort of weird and loose, and you have to use a lot of fingers. Like all the fingers for some reason. You got fucking 10 fingers involved. And then all of a sudden, things get a little easier. And you just turn in the ball every once in a while as you spool it up. And then big giant knots everywhere. And then a cat gets to it, another pussy, if you will, and oh shit, you're fucked.
That is in her name.
Okay, and it is still your testimony that that is for groceries and for her cleaning the house?
And her tight ass pussy.
That agreement was at the very beginning, when we were in the relationship together. Right now, she has the credit card debt that we have accrued and had to transfer over to get 0% interest on, that we're still paying off from the original move and then the debt that we acquired during that time. In various things around the house, going out to eat, using it as we would in life. Like we're paying off a major credit card from that.
Okay.
As you can
Past
see
witness.
from the, what was that?
Your Honor, I passed the witness.
Okay, thank you. Counsel, let me ask something. Was a part of your client's request to relief reimbursement for the student loans?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, are you asking Mr. Debnam or myself?
Your client,
Okay.
you mentioned, you asked Mr. Streeter about their agreement, and you mentioned student loans.
Yes, Your Honor, my client has accrued student loans during the marriage, and the agreements of the parties were that the house proceeds would go towards that.
Right, so I guess the court is trying to, I'm asking you, are you requesting today that one of the reimbursement claims be for those student loans?
We are asking for payments to be towards those student loans as part of the requested relief, not necessarily a reimbursement claim.
And Judge,
That's why the court was confused, because by law, that's something I can't even
Right.
consider.
thank you. And we've been having this conversation for months, Judge, and I'm not sure what the disconnect is. I think this is legally a very clear issue, yet we can't move two feet on it. And opposing counsel throughout the entirety of this case continues to misphrase a settlement offer and settlement conversations as some sort of quasi contractual obligation of my client to now magically owe her separate property claim. And it's just, it's
Your
crazy.
Honor, I think the side commentary aside, on the communications between counsel, because we have attempted to reach out and settle out this case and mediate this case.
Well,
Even
that's great. That part I'm not interested in. I was just
Yes.
trying to get clarification, because what your client would be asking me to do through you, by law, I'm not able to do that. I cannot entertain reimbursement for your client's student loans. That's not a reimbursable claim.
Yes, Your Honor. And so that is why we had provided a property division spreadsheet, which essentially lists out how a possible 50-50 split would look like in consideration of the debts that have been taken on by the parties, the amounts in their accounts. And because while it is listed as a possible remedy in our summary of requested relief, we had listed several other possibilities for getting this marital estate to a 50-50 split.
And I understand that, counsel. Let me say it more clear. I cannot give your client any sort of relief on a 50-50 split for a student loan. That is her separate debt.
Yes, Your Honor. The
So does
50-50
your client understand that? Because if she doesn't understand it, then maybe she understands it now. I just don't want your client to believe through you that I'm able to give her something that by law I cannot give her.
Your Honor, it's been discussed. It's more so the reimbursement claims and waste claims that are listed in our spreadsheet address the transfers to the girlfriend. Now we've talked about student loans and what have you, but this expands past student loans. It goes into where these house proceeds went and why there is nothing left in the community estate.
Okay. All right. Attorney Debnam, is there any redirect of your client?
Just very briefly, Judge.
Go ahead.
Mr. Streeter, you were asked a whole lot of questions about where those funds are going that you're transferring to your girlfriend. I want to provide just two clarificatory positions for the court. One is that is it fair to say that Cass Sterling manages the vast majority of your finances?
Yes.
Makes payments on your behalf for things like mortgages or rents. I know you don't have a mortgage anymore, but rent, those sorts of things,
Yes.
right? And is that why you tried to introduce and offer Cass Sterling's financial records so that we could show the court where those finances were, so we could answer the very questions that Miss George was asking you?
Yes.
But Miss George objected to that, didn't she?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll
Your
pass
Honor,
the witness, Judge.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Attorney Debnam, you may call your next witness.
We will call Mom, Miss Jonah Streeter.
Call the girlfriend. Call the
Okay,
girlfriend.
and time check. Attorney Debnam, you have 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Attorney George, you have 5 minutes and 26 seconds.
Miss Streeter, did you purchase a car for your son?
Absolutely.
And what vehicle was that?
It was a Ford Focus and it was in 2018.
Did you intend that car to be a gift to Miss Streeter or just your son?
Just my son.
Okay, thank you. Pass the witness, Judge.
Okay, Attorney George.
Nothing for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. May this witness be excused, Attorney Debnam?
Yes,
Let me
Judge.
get his type.
All right. Miss Streeter, thank you so much for your testimony here today. You're excused and you may log off.
Thank you so much, Judge. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Thank
Courtney. I love you so much.
All right. Attorney Debnam, you may call your next witness.
We'll call Cass Sterling.
All right.
Here we go now. Girlfriend time. Oh my God. I feel like I need to get my tits out. Is that the kind of moment this is? Oh, never mind. Not.
Cass,
oh my God.
I have got to be real quick here, so I'm going to ask you some short, direct questions, okay?
Mhm.
Did you live with Mr. and Mrs. Streeter during their marriage?
Yes.
What was the nature of your relationship with Mr. Streeter?
I was romantically involved.
Was Mrs. Streeter aware of that relationship?
Absolutely.
Did she demonstrate that relationship, that awareness with communications to you all over the place, including Discord group messages?
Discord group messages, and I met her on my first date.
Okay. And did Miss Streeter know that you purchased items on both her and Mr. Streeter's behalf?
Yes, I got both of their approval for anything I purchased.
Okay, so she knew that you take care of a lot of the finances and were reimbursed by Mr. Streeter.
Yes.
Okay. And you expected to be repaid for expenses you've fronted, right?
Yes.
And you were willing to offer in your credit card statements to evidence for this court to see, right?
Yes.
And it's your understanding that opposing parties objected to that?
Yes.
Okay. And final question is that you manage most of the finances for Mr. Streeter to this day, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Pass the witness.
All right. Attorney George,
Briefly, Your Honor, if I may.
go ahead.
Ms. Sterling, what approved expenses were agreed upon between you, Miss Streeter, and Mr. Streeter?
Mostly it was groceries. I did buy a $2,500 couch, which I informed them of. But it was I did the grocery runs so that they didn't have to get the DoorDash and have to pay for a dasher.
And if I asked you whether this amount equated to 95,000 over the course of the last 3 years, would that sound correct to you?
Yeah,
Okay, and
because
so
I mean,
and
95,000
so
was
would
during the marriage.
okay. And so is it your testimony today that my client only consented to the transfer and approval of expenses for groceries?
Groceries and for paying me for my cleaning services and for the couch.
And would that equate to the full 95,000?
It would equate for the full amount during their marriage before the separation.
And you understand they're still married, correct?
Yes, they are separated but married.
Okay, no further questions.
All right, Attorney Debnam, anything further from this witness?
No further. Can they be excused, please?
Yes. Thank you for your testimony today, and you are dismissed and free to log off.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
See you later, honey, she says.
Attorney Debnam, you may call your next witness.
Judge, petitioner has no further witnesses.
Okay, does petitioner rest?
The petitioner rests.
Okay. Attorney George, you may call your first witness.
Ashley Streeter, respondent, Your Honor, if I may.
Okay. Go ahead.
Miss Streeter, what was the profit from the sale of the house?
The profit from the sale of the house was, I'm so sorry, let me pull that up. It was,
You're not allowed to look at
If
shit
I
while you're
said
on
that
the
was
stand.
$43,077, does that sound correct to you?
yes, I apologize.
And what was the agreement between the parties for the proceeds to be split?
The agreement was to pay off both of our credit cards, and then to split the remaining, or I'm sorry, pay off both of our credit cards, pay off the student loans, and then anything that was left over afterwards, split between the two of us evenly.
Okay, and you two continued to share a bank account and credit card after the house was sold, correct?
Yes, we did. Multiple bank accounts.
And both parties' paychecks were going to those payment of bills between the two of you?
When we were split, yes.
And the agreements between the parties were that you would keep the Honda Fit, correct?
Yes.
And have you kept the Honda Fit?
Yes.
Have you made payments towards the Honda Fit in terms of maintenance?
Yes.
And is it your understanding that there was an outstanding loan on the Honda Fit during the marriage?
Yes.
And how much was being paid towards this outstanding loan?
$300 from the start of the date of the marriage.
So
A month.
$300.
Sorry, $300 a month from the start of the marriage.
Okay. Now, after
I don't know.
Mr. Streeter had closed out the joint accounts, as he had testified to earlier today, did you have difficulty paying your bills after this was done?
Yes.
And were you working during the marriage?
Yes. Off and on. I was a full-time student, and then when I wasn't a full-time student, I did have various jobs and volunteer work that I did.
Okay, and Exhibit 3, which is a financial information statement, which has been admitted to the court, goes through your income and expenses, is that correct?
Yes.
And how much do you currently owe in total in debt?
My student loans are a little over $16,000. And then my credit card at the moment, I believe, is a little over $3,000. It might be 4. It's somewhere between 3.7 and 4.2.
And is it your position that there would be more funds or assets in the community estate had Mr. Streeter not transferred money out
Yes.
to Emily Ash?
Yes.
Is it your position today that Mr. Streeter would have been able to meet the terms of your agreements had these funds not been paid out to Emily Ash?
Yes.
And does Exhibit 1, as proposed to the court, outline your summary of requested relief
Yes.
in this suit? Have you also prepared a property division spreadsheet for the court?
Yes.
And this spreadsheet addresses the reimbursement claims that you're requesting, correct?
Yes.
And with the reimbursement claims listed for payments to Mr. Streeter's property, separate property car, and for transfers to Emily, are you requesting a cash payment to bring the split to a 50-50 split?
Yes, it would total $22,009.
And are you requesting attorney's fees in this matter?
Yes.
How much in total have you paid for attorney's fees?
Just over $27,000.
And that includes fees to prepare offers, prepare for trial, prepare discovery, is that correct?
Yes.
Attorney George, that was your last question. You just ran out of time.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I have no cross, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't have a cross, Judge. Whatever time I have left, I'd like to close with it.
Okay. I have a couple of questions for you, Mrs. Streeter.
Yes.
The Honda Fit, whose car is that? Well, let me ask a better question. Did you pay for it before the marriage?
No, we purchased it 3 months before the marriage.
Okay,
So
when you
it was
say,
in his name. Mhm.
okay, so it's the title here is solely in his name.
Yes.
Okay, and you're saying he gave it to you when?
We purchased it for me. He already had a car. We bought it for me. And it's always been my car. And we have mountains of evidence of him agreeing that it's my car. He's never been in possession of it. It's been
Okay,
mine
but
the entire time.
you understand he bought it before you all got married,
Yes.
right? Okay,
Yes, but he did make all of the payments with our community funds.
okay. If you are wanting the court to award you the car, are you also going to take over the payments?
There are no more payments. It's been paid off since the January of 22, I believe.
Okay, maybe I'm looking at this spreadsheet wrong. Attorney Debnam, it looks like there's a balance on here.
I'm also confused. I don't think there's a balance on there, but I heard testimony that she had been paying it, and now she's saying that it's been paid off during the marriage. So I don't know when she's paying it, but I'm also confused, Judge. To my understanding, there's not a balance on it, and it's certainly separate property.
If I may, Your Honor, if you're referring to our spreadsheet, this lists the reimbursement for the payments from the date of marriage to 2022 when the car was paid off.
William, good question. Get your guesses in the chat. I will tell you what we argued the most over in our divorce, which was pending, I think, 7 years.
Okay. Okay. I guess the court is confused because there's a reimbursement claim on a vehicle that was not community property. It's the separate property of Mr. Streeter, but he's not the one asking for the reimbursement. So how can your client claim reimbursement on separate property that is the separate property of Mr. Streeter?
So we are requesting reimbursement to the community estate for the payments towards that separate property car. the payments that began from the date of marriage to when the car was paid off.
But in what you just said, just proved the confusion, right? You're asking the court to give a reimbursement to a separate property claim for the use of community funds, right? But it's to a separate property, it's to separate property that belongs to Mr. Streeter. He's not the one asking for the claim. I guess the court is trying to figure out, how does your client get the reimbursement claim for community funds used on separate property? Because if I were to grant a reimbursement claim back to the community, I mean, I'm doing a reimbursement claim to the community for community funds used on separate property that belongs to the person not bringing the reimbursement claim. I guess I'm trying to figure out logistically, how do I get there?
Your Honor, so opposing party is requesting for the car to go back to him. And so as part of the payments that the community estate has been paying towards this car and to benefit this car, this separate property of Mr. Streeter, we're asking for that reimbursement back to the community for the sake of bringing the community back to a place where he is not the only one benefiting from these payments.
Okay. And Mr.
And I
Streeter,
apologize if I'm not articulating it to clarify, if I can answer any further questions.
no, you're fine. You're fine. Thank you, counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Streeter, you said the $22,009 is your request for what the 50-50 split would be?
Yes, based on that spreadsheet.
Okay. And just so I'm clear, the amount of debt for you is $16,000 for your student loans and roughly about $4,000 for your credit card payments or credit
Yes.
card.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Attorney Devlin. You have 1 minute and 44 seconds left.
All right, Judge. I'm going to make it brief. I hope the court can see that my position that I started, it remains the position at the end. There was no reason for this case to be in front of this court. There is no community estate remaining. My client has $32,000 in debt, and their client has about $20,000 in debt. They come to the court asking for reimbursements for student loans that the community had probably made payments on, but now they want to be reimbursed on that. They want to be reimbursed on the car. And significantly, the main thing they brought in front of the court is fraud. And they objected to all of the evidence coming in for fraud. They objected to the very evidence necessary to prove their own claim. And they didn't provide any expert testimony. You can't bring the claim before the court and then play hide the ball. I told you the only winners in this case would be our two offices, and they told you $27,000 in attorney's fees for zero community estate remaining. So my question, it's up to them to show where the money went. Where did the money go? Because we weren't allowed to introduce the evidence.
Thank you, counsel. So the court is going to take this under advisement. I'll get you all a ruling out before this afternoon.
Thank you, Judge.
Sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor.
You may be.
Belated birthday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Maybe be excused, Judge?
Yes.
So, we got cock blocked. Shit. That sucks. Anyways, you guys wanted to hear what did we fight over the most? What was the most contentious thing in my divorce? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. We didn't fight about very much at all. The hard part was wrangling my ADHD ass to sign paperwork with no lawyer, but my brain thinking that something was being pulled over on me. So I dragged it out for a very long time until finally he came to me explaining that he wanted to marry a very nice woman and he really needed to get divorced. And I said, okay. And we got divorced. And that was basically it. Really, just my ADHD ass. That's the reality. We didn't fight over much. You know, I don't see a lot of point fighting. I still, you know, appreciate, well, to be clear, I asked for the divorce and separation. Let's be real. I'm not going to drag him through the mud like that. I did that. What he kept asking for is me to sign divorce paperwork, and I kept refusing because I didn't really think there was a big deal. And then eventually he wanted to marry this girl, and so I said, I will sign the papers. And she's so lovely. She's a wonderful stepmother to my daughter. They have another child now. Very happy. Love it for them. You know, the happier he is, the less pain in the ass he is to me. That's what I always say. She wants to take one for the team. We love that. We love that for you, Queen. We love that. That is the reality of that. So, down the road, maybe I'll find out I got fucked over, but I don't think so. Anyways, John has a premiere. Okay, there we go. Do I want to make him jealous? No, not really. Not really. Not at all. Honestly, I am just very happy with how they treat my daughter. That's the most important part. Very, very good to her. Couldn't ask for more. So, funny enough, no big fights here. I know it sounds crazy, but it's just not the way I am. I'll fight tooth and nail while I'm in something, but then as soon as I'm done, I'm done. I'm out. But you want me to sign some paperwork? Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Tomorrow will be, I think, like afternoon. Next case. Next. Tomorrow will be the afternoon. Will we find out how it turns out? I don't know, Carla. I'll have to look and see if she posts it on her YouTube. This judge knows. And you will get your Christmas cards by Christmas, Cellulite Yoga Pants. I saw your message. I got it down. Birdie decision. That case settled. That case settled out of court. And they didn't want to tell me. They wanted me to take down the 40 hours of the footage that I have. To which I refused. Anyways. But I have to sign the cards. I'll sign the cards. Just like you guys have to make the comments. Anyways. Do me a favor. Remember that I love you guys. Thanks for being here. That was a good case. Not great for like watching alone, I would say. But as a group, super fun. Just like that polyamorous relationship. Maybe not so fun just the two of them. But as a group, super fun. Anyways, do me a favor. Remember that I love you. And I'm proud of you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.